Hi, I'm Sarah from Running Shoes Guru. Today I'm sharing with you my review of the Nike Metcon 6 training shoe. Reviewing running shoes is our bread and butter. Training shoes differ in the way that they're supporting your feet in a completely different way. In a training shoe, you want support under the heel, you want a wide toe box so your toes can move out, and some support around the heel and underfoot. You don't want your foot to be cushioned and moving around if you're lifting heavy weights, so it's super important that you find the right training shoe for you when it comes to this sort of activity. So my first impressions of the Metcon 6 when I saw it online were pretty mixed. I wasn't a big fan of the colourways it came in the leopard print and the camo. I also thought it looked quite similar to the Metcon 5. However, when it arrived, it did feel quite different on the foot to the Metcon 5. The fit was really true to size, which I find with all Nike shoes. It comes in about a size bigger than the Nano 10, so I wear a size 39 in the Nano 10 or the Nano X and a 40 in the Metcon 5, so there's quite a difference there. The toe box is quite wide, not as wide as the Nano 10, but it is quite wide on the foot, which means your toes can spread out quite nicely when you're lifting, and it's pretty stable under the heel as well. It did rub the back of my heel to start with, but that went down after a few days, so it didn't really cause any major problems. The sole unit of the Metcon 5 is wide, flat, and made of carbon rubber. It extends up around the sides, which gives you some protection if you're doing rope climbs. It means the shoe won't get easily worn down or torn, and also protects your feet as well. There's a plastic protection around the back of the heel as well, so it glides up and down the wall if you're doing some handstand push-ups, doesn't get stuck there. If we look at the insole, if we take that out, you'll see it's a dual density insole, which means it's a thicker density at the back, this white part, and the grey part provides a little bit more cushioning. So when you're lifting, your heel stays really firm, really still, you can really feel the floor and help push up through the floor. But if you are running or jumping in the shoe, there is a little bit more cushioning underneath the forefoot, so that works really well. They come with hyperlift inserts, which are inserts which you add in between the insole and the main shoe. This elevates the foot by about 3 millimeters, which gives you a little bit more ankle mobility when you are doing lifts. It means you can squat a little bit deeper and improve that form a little bit as well. If we look at the upper, this has completely changed since the previous Metcon. The Metcon 5 had plastic overlays. This one is a thicker but much more breathable dual layer mesh. You can sort of see that there's large holes in it, which you can see my fingers through. They're super breathable, but because of the thick mesh, it does stay pretty durable as well. The upper is divided into two sections, a much tougher heel cup and a much more flexible forefoot section in the upper. There's a thick stitching to divide them. Stands out pretty bold. Most of the colourways are a strong contrasting colour there, so you can see the difference. The laces, there was no issues here. They were held in place really well by the fly wire lacing, which adds an extra eyelet to the normal lacing. This really locks the foot down well when you're moving around, especially when you're jumping and your foot's going sideways as well, in addition to the sole unit that wraps up. You get a really solid feel on the foot, really good there. One thing I didn't love in the Metcon 6 was this relatively low heel counter. It did rub my foot at the back to start with, and when I had the inserts in, the hyperlift inserts, it felt like my foot was moving around a little bit too much. When I was running, it was slipping a little bit, so I think that's maybe an area for improvement, especially compared to other training shoes such as the Nano 10, where it's a lot more secure. If we look at the performance of the Metcon 6, I looked at it against various different activities. So firstly, running. I actually think there's a big improvement versus other training shoes when it comes to running, maybe down to the fact it's quite flexible, maybe it's down to that dual density insole. If you're a heel striker, so really make strong contact with your heel first, it's going to give you some trouble because the foam underneath the heel is really solid, because you need that when you're lifting. But there was enough cushioning on the front, and it felt quite comfortable for short runs, sort of less than 5 minutes, less than about a kilometre. On a treadmill it was fine as well. So if you're running further, I definitely say wear your running shoes, but if you're doing a workout with a bit of running and lifting, this will definitely do the job. When it came to weightlifting, so doing squats and deadlifts, this is where the shoe was really great. So my heel felt protected, it didn't move around, I could really feel the floor underneath my toes to grip the floor, so I had no problems there. And when it came to high intensity work, again, this shoe is great for that. If you're jumping, there's no slipping, it's got a really grippy outsole, you land flat, you land solid, and there's a little bit of cushioning as well in that front part, so it does the job pretty well. So to conclude my thoughts on the Metcon 6, I think Nike's definitely moving in the right direction when it comes to creating the perfect training shoe. There's definitely been improvements since previous iterations. You're never going to find the perfect all-rounder due to the nature of the activities that you use it for. It has to be supportive, be rigid in different areas. However, this is a nigh on perfect match to what you could want it for. For my review, I'm giving it 9 out of 10. Thanks for listening today. My name's Sarah Dean. If you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.